Hello, my name is Dave Gunter and welcome. We're going to talk a little bit today about the CISA, Cybersecurity Actions for the Water and Wastewater Industry. This was released on February 23rd and it goes through basically some tenets of things that you really need to have a handle on. We're going to go through each one of these, but as we go through them, I would definitely consider having a cybersecurity stand down with your team. That's basically a meeting where you sit back and bring the employees in, the operation and maintenance team, and you kind of lead them through this document, these points, and talk about cybersecurity. It'll bring a lot of understanding on the topic. Maybe you'll uncover some things that you didn't know, and that can be beneficial for everyone. So let's talk about this. Reduce exposure to the public-facing internet. Of course, great point. We talked about this with the air gap systems, how you want to make sure that they're still air gapped. We also need to reach out to the IT team and find out when was the last time they audited the firewall or the boundary device that's protecting the OT side. And just have a clear understanding of that. How often are those rules audited? The other topic that they mention here is conduct regular cybersecurity assessments. Absolutely, but remember, you also have to reach back and understand what type of assessment you had before to understand what you need moving forward. Get an assessment that covers holes that you didn't cover the first time. That's a key point. The other topic they run through is default passwords. Change them. This I would qualify under system hardening. You really need to harden the system. If you don't know the password for a device, you really need to figure that out. And if it is default, you'll want to change it. The next one they talk about is conduct an inventory of the OT and IT assets. We know asset management is everything. You're going to get certain assets that you may not have on your asset inventory. So take some time and refresh that. Or if there's a section of the plant you haven't documented yet, go after it. Or if your tool has not been up to date, figure out what's going on and get it back online from an asset management standpoint. Develop cybersecurity incident response plan and recovery. Yes, you need to make sure that that's in place. You also need to make sure that you've tested that. So if you were to get hit with ransomware, let's say, you really need to understand how that would play out. Talk about it as a team. Reach out to whoever is the owner of that process and talk to them. Figure out what you can do. It's a great exercise for a tabletop. Backup and recovery. You know what? You can't respond from an incident if you have bad backups, or your backups have been corrupt, or your backups haven't been tested, or your backups are not up to date. You really need to make sure of those things are in place before you're in a ransomware issue and you start scrambling going, where are the backups? You got to have that under control. The other topic they have here is reduce exposure to vulnerabilities. That's a great topic, vulnerability management. It's easy to say. It's hard to do for the operations and maintenance team. OT, you have to treat, tolerate, transfer, or terminate. Making those decisions can be very difficult. At the same time, you can't patch everything every day. That's just how it works. So reach out to your IT team, reach across the aisle. From an OT standpoint, if you're in charge of vulnerability management, make sure you understand what vulnerabilities you have. You understand what your plan is to manage them and mitigate them, and also understand what vulnerabilities you don't have. Meaning, if there's devices you haven't checked out there, take the time, go check them. And that's a great topic you can have in your cyber stand down meeting with your team. Hey, are there devices out there that we just don't know the vulnerability status of? That's a great topic. It says here, the last one is conduct cybersecurity awareness training. Agree wholeheartedly. You really need to go through the process to understand what everybody's level of understanding of cyber is compared to their role, and equip them with like some general cyber hygiene training. All of these items are fundamentals. They really should be covered in a cyber stand down. The water and wastewater industry is a high value target right now for foreign adversaries. It deserves its own time to talk about, either over lunch or wherever you want to do it, or however you want to do it. You really need to take this step. We all used to do it under safety. We'd have safety stand down meetings. You can do the same thing with cyber. So take the time, hold the meeting, go through this reference on CISA, and develop a better understanding of where you're at, and it'll pay dividends. So until next time.